the Jake Giffen Podcast.
Right? Oh, hey, man, this chick is twirling around in her head all day. And, you don't know if I can handle this anymore. I'm out of here. That's going to, so, Lord, tell Matt I apologize. Sorry, Matt. He's doing better than all of us, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
Good,
Yeah, exactly.
Matt's doing better than we're more disappointed that we're not with Matt,
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Come on, Lord, what are we doing? You're obviously going to be doing something because we're still here.
Right.
And so, and you never, I'm always going to be interested in whatever ripple effects the suffering has.
Exactly.
So you talk about like the last 2 years, but last year specifically, which was more or less torture for me. And it was like, that changed me a bunch. And we've gone through a lot of suffering, a lot of failures, a lot of different things where you're just like, how is this? This is all changing us in some way, and if you look back, you might be able to tell how it's changed you. Do you know how, can you identify some stuff or no?
Definitely for me, I mean, I have changed dramatically in my spiritual mindset. Like 8 years ago, it was my life goals were find a sexy Armenian spouse, become a judge, pop the babies, grill the kebabs, and then die. That was, and now, I feel like I've become like, I don't know, the spokesperson for suffering or something, just through my book and just through Matt's, ministry. And so now I've become this person who's like, actually, that's not the goal in life. The goal in life is not prosperity gospel. The goal is actually to love Christ and to be a testimony for him wherever he calls you, whether that's lawyer or janitor or on a bed or, So I have just, you're looking at someone who used to be just a total entitled brat in terms of, Lord, you better give me these blessings, and where are they and when are they coming, to someone who's like, okay, like I want the Lord's will now. And I might still wrestle and, be bitter at times, but I'm surrendering every day and I'm taking up my cross every day to remind myself of the new creation I am and how my flesh needs to die. I was not in that mind frame at all. I didn't even know like this biblical concept of the flesh needing to die and, the whole Galatians, like we are a new creation. So I feel like I've just been in a deep dive into theology, and Martin Luther said, suffering is literally like theology boot camp.
Yes.
That's why you're wiser after this year, right? I'm guessing.
So good.
Yeah.
It makes, when you have guys like Martin Luther coming behind, it, you mentioned, several times the prosperity gospel. Is that the kind of church that you were part of?
I wasn't, but the reason I bring that up is like no one teaches you in Armenian Sunday school, as good theology as the church has, but no one really teaches you that some of you will suffer with chronic illness, that some of you, that a spouse is not guaranteed to all Christians, that, some of you will go through great griefs. Like, in other words, and I'm not blaming Sunday school teachers, I'm saying, and I guess kids aren't really ready for that level of doctrine, but it's like our goal as Armenian Christians, at least in my community, is kind of like get married, have the babies. Like this is what the good life is, as opposed to the emphasis of Christ is our all in all. And yes, he will give you certain blessings, but don't idolize the blessings. And I'm sure some of it was my fault, in terms of not listening to the right sermons or whatever. But that's why I keep mentioning that idea. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's a certain maturity that comes along with suffering.
Yeah.
A maturity that you wouldn't get any other way. We've known, how many pastors with PhDs have you known that hadn't gone through any suffering at all, that were,
yeah,
they had the philosophical depth of a kiddie pool, they just didn't,
yeah,
they don't, and then those who have suffered, those who have experienced things, who even if they're suffering just with their congregation and they have good theology or whatever, it's like, you can tell that it's impacted them in some level that they understand. But even kids in Sunday school, what do they read? We're teaching them about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Like, oh yeah, they got thrown into a fire. heated up 7 times hotter than any other fire on the planet, or whatever it was. They
Yeah,
just, they
exactly.
just threw those kids in the fire. Like, okay. Like, what are they going to do? They threw Daniel in a lion's den to be eaten
I
by
know.
lions. Yeah, they expected him to completely, to be lunch, but
Oh
no,
my gosh.
wasn't lunch. Maybe the fire didn't hurt him and the lions didn't eat him. So, and, some weird, dizzy, situation that you got going on is not going to stop you, you know, it's,
Thank you.
was Matt a sexy Armenian guy? Did you at least get that?
Yes, I did get the checklist. Brilliant, PhD, sexy, tall,
Very nice.
I'm gonna send this to my father-in-law like ASAP as soon as you publish it. He's so funny. He's Matt was actually half Armenian, half Jewish. Um, but he was a very strong believer. He actually came to Christ later when he turned 20, or no, when he turned 20. Yeah.
Mm,
And he had a cancer as a teen, which is
mm,
what opened his eyes before he was a believer. It opened his eyes to, okay, what is life about? And, God delivered him from that cancer, but this was a totally other kind of cancer. So,
intestinal cancer, huh?
yeah, Matt told me it's one of the, I mean, he basically, I mean, I don't want to get in, I mean, you have to read the book, but he
Yeah.
basically died because he couldn't eat. So it came to a point where he basically starved to death. He couldn't eat in hospice for 60 days.
Ugh.
And you should have seen the smile on his face,
Mm,
like just the joy that was radiating off of him in that fire. Like I
mm,
can't explain it. Like, so I don't know. My husband was so Christ-like, and that's what I think changed me. It's
mm.
like I think the Lord brought Matt for many reasons, but also to just help me in my own suffering. It's like such a
Yeah.
beautiful testimony about how God will give you gifts that you need amidst your suffering to get through it. So that applies to all of your listeners.
Mm. When did you end up coming into the Lord?
When I was in Sunday school,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, like fifth grade or fourth grade, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it was just one of those, I always wish I had this like more dramatic born again experience or something because I never really had that. And so I think because of that, I think I took my faith for granted for many years, which is
Uh,
sad. But now, it's totally different because of the suffering, I guess.
yeah. I mean, it's a good look. Really great, fascinating testimonies aren't all that, you know,
Yeah.
the the drugs and the alcohol aren't wasn't that much fun. It,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
like once you get past it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. So I did what? You just destroy your body or whatever. But
Yeah.
so you came to the Lord. You got saved, with the fires of Shadrach. And, well, I'm calling them by their Babylonian names, which my pastor would be completely disappointed in me. Um, but that's only because I forget their Hebrew names. They're harder to say. What can you say? Hebrews are, they have weird names, you know. But so, uh, but those poor kids. What do you now? When did you publish? Did you self-publish?
I did. I mean, I prayed about it and I just felt like, you know what? I don't want, first of all, it's going to take forever querying, HarperCollins, this, that. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to put my story out in the world. And then B, I didn't want to give editorial privilege to some, other group of people, even if they are Christian. I wanted my story to be authentic. And honestly, like I love writing, like I'm a lawyer. I mean, legal briefs are very different from this kind of writing, but I love comedy. Like I'm a comedian, I love acting. And so I inserted a ton of like comedic stuff in the book because otherwise I
Mm,
think it would be hard to get through all this grief. So I tried to make it unique, and kind of like a screenplay. And I
mm.
think it came out that way because I think people are receiving it, in that sense. So I'm proud of myself. I'm grateful to the Lord.
You're gonna do an audio version?
Yes, I'm actually doing it. I'm recording it right now.
I was gonna say. I mean, you have time.
Yeah, I have what? Oh,
You have time.
thank you.
You have time to do it. It's
Oh, and oh yeah, exactly.
it was
My
a
day
cruel
job
it was a cruel joke. It
I
was
didn't get the joke, and
it was
my
a
day job is essentially professional bedridden person slash author slash social media
yeah.
enthusiast.
Everybody who listens to this is gonna hear the joke and be like, "Oh, that was bad. That wasn't good."
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
laughing, but I'm an easy crowd, so I don't know.
We don't do like we don't do a lot of sympathy around here. We're doing You know, I meet people who are missing limbs and I ask them what happened. You know, is it like a
Oh,
combine accident or were you born
oh
like
my
that? You know,
gosh. Yeah,
there's not.
amazing. Just
That's
amazing.
when we talk about like genetics, you know, I get the part of my mom that I get is the lack of empathy. You know, like, but
Oh,
you know, it's you know, there's compassion. There's just not like I don't, you know, we don't put a lot of emphasis on, oh, woe is you, you know,
right.
you're sick kind of. I mean, you know, obviously we want to have compassion. It's gonna sound super cruel. Boy, Jake's a jerk. No, but it's super interesting when we meet people who have actually suffered.
Yeah,
Not like, oh my gosh, I didn't get my allowance last week. What will I ever get?
right.
You know, it's like real people who love the Lord who are suffering in real time. When's the
Yeah.
audiobook going to get done?
I'm hoping I'll release it late November. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take my producers to edit it, but I hired this great company. I think they'll do a good job. And actually, I'm cloning Matt's voice because he was a
No way.
preacher. Yeah, he was a preacher. We've got a million sermons. He did these youth group devotionals for the kids. They loved it. Superheroes, movie themes relating to the Bible. So we're going to clone his voice, and
Stop
I'm doing the
that.
performance of myself. So, and then,
Stop that. So you have Matt
yeah. So
reading
it's
your
a
story.
Well, I'm going to be the narrator because it's a
Okay.
memoir. It's first person, but
Got it.
Matt's lines will be spoken with his voice.
That
So,
is so good.
yeah, I think yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's good. Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. The second part of that memoir is going to be better.
I hope so. I
Because
hope
how could
it's
it
not
not be? It can't get worse.
right. I mean, yeah, said so many biblical figures before Hebrews 11.
Yeah, if I were a you know a superstitious guy, I would say, hey, you shouldn't have said that. That's not good. But I'm not. I'm a Christ believer, so I you know
Yeah,
it's either gonna
yeah.
you know. But I can't wait to see what the Lord does
Thank you.
with your memoirs and with. Are you blogging currently? What are you putting out on a regular basis that people can follow you on?
Yeah, so I'm a comedian on Instagram. I do Armenian comedy clips making fun of our culture, aunties, children, this, that. I like mocking our I'm just joking. My church community loves it. And I also sing jazz vocals. I love music. I play violin. So I put up covers on Instagram and then I'm also on Facebook. So right now, I put up some Christian content. I'm considering getting into podcasting. I don't know. It's something that I feel like the Lord might be putting it on my heart just
Yeah.
after watching like how much fun you guys are having. I'm not so sure. I have to pray about it, frankly, but I don't know. It seems like that might be a fun way to just continue the ministry of suffering and,
Uh-huh.
just the singing through fire idea. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the
Yeah.
title of my book.
Well, it's real time too. I mean, you do something weekly or bi-weekly or whatever you're going to do, but
Yeah.
and it's good. It's a good outlet. Why not? It's a creative outlet. You're a creative
Yeah.
person. You got a lot of things to share with people. You got a lot of light to shine in the world. And you know, it's a light that maybe you wouldn't be as bright if you hadn't gone through some of this.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Mm.
And yeah, so you can find me on YouTube at The Silverman Show. That's the channel Matt and I created while we were married, just putting up music and his theology content. And then Instagram and Facebook. And you can buy my book on Amazon. It's actually a number one bestseller. So I'm like, thank you,
Stop.
Lord. I feel like the Lord is redeeming my suffering. Not that it's about like the number ones and this, that, but it's just, I feel like
Yeah.
it's like, thank you, Lord. Like, finally, a tangible win after accomplishing nothing in 8 years. Like, for a type
Yes.
A lawyer whose worth was all in accomplishments, like, which it shouldn't be, this was like finally, like, okay, Lord, thank you for, you know what I'm saying? And it's all
Yeah.
for his glory. But
It's
yeah,
in due time. He will exalt. It's
yeah,
that's,
circle
you know,
back.
you just trust. That's great. Number one, Amazon bestseller. See, that's going to be your intro right there. Amazon, number one, Amazon bestseller and top sufferer. You know, is that something you can be? Can you be a top sufferer? You can.
I guess. I mean, I'll add it to the resume. I like it. Kind
Well,
of
rank.
sounds nice.
You might as well get everybody ranked. You know, see who's suffering more and who's suffering the most. I mean, you lost a husband and you're dizzy all the time, so that sucks. you
Hey,
know?
oh, well, don't forget the loss of the legal career. Just making sure you got that pity party.
Yeah, some people might argue that was more of a
That's a
blessing.
good thing. I might be the first lawyer on your show. You're gonna get, you're gonna lose subscribers. Like you're stooping to the lawyers now.
No, I think you're I think you're probably the third lawyer on the show. Um,
Oh, not bad. All right.
first woman, as we said
First
before.
woman.
So that's a landmark thing because I didn't think I'd ever have a woman on the show. So you broke through. That
Oh,
glass
great.
that glass ceiling doesn't exist anymore. So that's gone. That's gone. And so you made it
This
on.
podcast isn't sexist anymore.
The podcast
I'm
isn't
just
sexist
joking.
anymore. Everybody, all the guys that listen to this show can learn about suffering from a woman. They're like, we have to learn suffering from a woman. Yes. And by
This is
proxy,
so cool.
suffering from her husband who died of cancer. So look,
Yeah.
there's a dude in there somewhere. He's, uh, you know,
My brother-in-law is just gonna love this. I'm actually trying to evangelize. He'll get a kick out of this. I'm trying to evangelize him at present. Like
mm,
we're shooting each other emails nonstop about, and Matt obviously witnessed to him. And
mm.
anyway, I digress.
Yeah, it's, yeah, well, good luck with that because it's the gospel is that which brings light. It doesn't necessarily bring success, and it doesn't necessarily bring comfort. It brings
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are you in relation to God? What is your relationship to God currently? And if you haven't had your sins forgiven, then you are his enemy, and that's a bad place to be,
Yeah.
considering he is the only one that can create a universe from nothing.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, it's
terrifying.
wild.
That alone
Exactly.
is terrifying to me. Do you know what I mean?
That's a
Like
good way of putting it, actually.
that, I have a nice view of the
I
town
can
that I
see
live.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice. So I look out here and I go, "Oh yeah, this is really pretty." And then it's always constantly reminds me that he made that from absolutely nothing. And I go, "Oh
Amazing.
yeah, I am a rodent at best. You know, I am deserving of nothing." And it's by his grace we move on and succeed. I'm gonna follow you on Instagram because I think you're hilarious. And we'll put all your contact and all your details in the show notes. We'll get everybody off to Amazon to purchase more of your books so that you become very famous, and then you can do
That's the goal. That's the goal.
you can do arena speeches from your bedroom in
From the
bed.
right. I mean, I was the bedridden bride. I might as well be, the bedridden podcaster.
Yeah, I mean that back wall, you could use a decoration. A decoration wouldn't kill you. You know what I mean?
I need a total remodel. I'll have your people call my people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
you've got
right.
a gym back there. It's looking good. Like this is,
I
I'm
do.
just teasing.
I do it. It's yeah, I'm spoiled. I got 200 square feet of absolute bliss.
Wow. Where are
So
you guys based? Are you in LA or I can't remember?
yeah, I mean, I'm in Huntington Beach.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, where are
I've been,
you?
yeah. San Francisco, but 30
Oh,
minutes south. So, in Silicon Valley, actually.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like a mile from the beach currently. So
Oh,
yeah, there
beautiful.
are worse places to be. So everything's good. I'll put everything in there, man. You're gonna. I cannot
Thanks,
wait to
Jake.
see what the next chapter of your life looks like. I appreciate your ability to suffer, uh, and give praise to the Lord. I can't wait to see what happens next. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thanks so much, Jake. I just appreciate, being given a platform. So God bless you.
Anytime.